I'm a dude, and I'm inviting you to join me on a podcast about brews.
Does that include stouts?
Yes, of course it includes stouts. Like I was saying, join us every Saturday on the journey into...
Wait a minute. Do you guys do anything about like IPAs?
Yes,
Stuff like that?
yes, we do IPAs.
Okay.
Yes. Anyway, join us on the Journey into Comics Network for Brews with Dudes.
Whoa, hey, have you guys ever... Do you care if I bring some Zima on?
Yes, I care if you bring Zima. Zima doesn't count. Zima's Dr. Dongo. Anyway, join us every Saturday for a podcast that delves into the craft brew world.
The following
is a journey into comics.
Journey into comics.
It's a journey into comics.
Journey into comics.
Journey into Comics.
Network.
production.
What? We're back. Yeah. It all started out as a wrinkle in his brain when Nate hit. A Brando got him to pause the game, setting out on a journey podcast into the masses. Formed a pod family, kicking audio asses. Now the Walking Dead is dead and the endgame was won. But the war it isn't over because the battle's just begun. The boys are back in action, can't you see? Nate and Brando lay it down, the OGs of JIC.
What's up, Deuterinos? Welcome back to another rousing episode of the OGs. Coming at you sort of live and powered by the Journey into Comics Network. Of course, your OGs are Nate Phillips.
What the fuck is up? The other half of the OGs is Brandon Stone.
How's it going, my dude? We are back again for episode 3. And thank you guys for checking out the first 2 episodes. I've actually had a couple people who have listened to it who have not talked to me about podcasts for a while who don't normally listen to podcasts.
Really?
Yeah, at least one of them normally doesn't. He came up to me and was like, dude, so when are you back with Nate? I'm like, since episode 0 of the OGs, technically that podcast free episode. And he goes, dude, I was rolling. You guys had me rolling so hard with those stories. He goes, I died when you told the Chappelle Show story. And
yes, fuck yes. I'm glad somebody else loves it like we do. That show was great.
Well, and that's just it, dude. That's exactly what I want this show to be. I want it to have a loose topic. We're going to come in. We're going to have a focus because we are very tangential, but that focus allows us to be tangential.
Absolutely, Brando. I think that's very well said. Before I think we get too much further on, I need some clarification. Those of you who are listening to episode 2 that has dropped at this point 2 weeks ago, for Brando and I, it hasn't officially come out yet, but it will be coming out tomorrow. That episode, the No Phone Air, was really a lot of hard work that got thrown down the drain, and it was one of the more crushing moments in my podcasting time. I really love editing shows, Brando. I don't give a fuck if it's a project. I don't care if it takes me 20 hours. It's fine, you know? The issue I have is when things go horribly wrong. And so Tyler and I had recorded The Voice of Survival, talking about aliens. It's in the air, you know? And I sat down to finish the final 15 minutes of episode 2 because we had kind of an issue with the recording. I had to go through and kind of mask out my voice on your end, so we had really nice quality. We like to blend it like we're in the same room, even though we aren't. You're going to hear that quality today. It wasn't like that last time. C'est la vie. So I'm to the final 15 minutes of doing this edit, and all of a sudden, Audacity is playing the file. Nothing is actually playing. I can't stop it. And it's not saying not responding. And at this point, I'm like, oh, fuck, this is not going to end well. And I'm deep in the edit, you know. And I don't like, for whatever reason, and maybe this is just my own stupidity and this is, the lesson to be learned, I don't save the Audacity projects. I always feel like when I save those, things go wrong. And of course, things went wrong this time, so maybe I should have fucking saved it. But again, c'est la vie, you can't get it back, you know? So, it's like fucked up, and I'm like, what do I do? You know, how do I fix this? I'm not even really sure. So I tried to force update my computer because I'm like, oh, I know what's going to happen. I'll update the computer. It will force a recovery file to be created because Audacity has that capacity. And I'm like, oh, and then I won't lose it. Everything will be great, right? I go to do that, and it just straight up fucking crashed, and it didn't create a recovery file. And like 20, probably 9 hours, I would say 29 to 30 hours, somewhere in there of work down the shitters, and we reserved to just using your side of the conversation. So you're going to hear me have some moments where I broke up, you know, some lag in the conversation in and of itself, and we're going to try not to do that again, Brando. I'm going to hopefully not have that kind of fuck up happen again.
Well, the thing was there were some storms in your area for when we recorded that, and I was like, well, just to make sure that I capture, you capture on your end, both of us, just in case. And I don't do that, and normally Tyler doesn't do that. We just capture our end and send it to you to do the work. And then, well, this time I'm like, oh, you know what? I'll capture on my end too. Well, how I normally record the Game Addicts podcast is through Streamlabs. It is easy. It's so, man, once it does most of the work for you with the mixing, and you can just, you know, tweak your sound a little bit. And when you record it, it's a video file. I can, you know, then change the video file to MP3, throw that into Audacity. The only thing is that it mixes us both down into one audio track. And I haven't really figured out how to not have it do that yet. Maybe there's a way. Maybe I don't know, though. The only thing is, well, we got so far in, and I'm like, yeah, this is gonna be cool. And you were telling some story, and I just sort of like looked at my screen, and it was one of those things where it was like, this ain't gonna work like we want it to today.
Not today, man. It was a little bit fucked from the jump, but you know what? We deal with that. That's the podcasting world. You got to roll with the punches, man. You can't. You can't expect it to always go perfect. You know, sometimes things are lost. I mean, that just happened on the network. There was an episode that Nick lost completely. The Zoom didn't capture the record. Facebook didn't save the video. So we push on and we put out episode part 5 of his most recent quest on Dungeons with Dudes. And then the next day on Monday, he messaged and he's like, dude, I found part 4. He sends it over. And Dick's like, hey, man, do you want me to just start this where this starts? Because it's kind of like in the middle of something that's already happening. And Nick's like, oh, fuck, there's a part 1 to that file I have to now find. So he's going to try to send it to us, and then we got to do a whole shuffle. But like I said, you roll with it in the podcasting world, I think. But I'm fucking stoked to be back on the show. Episode 3, we are here. We've got some stuff to talk about. Where do you want to go, man?
Well, you know, as I said before, we always, you know, when we got together back with this show, I said, I don't want it to be like the other shows that we've ever done. I don't want it to be a singular topic show. I don't want it to be a wrestling show. I don't want it to be a comic show. Those things are awesome, and you and I both enjoy those things. You know, we both talk about those things.
Absolutely.
We've already talked about those things ad nauseum for 4 years. So let's do something completely different. And what we have decided to do is try to just take some topics that are completely relatable for pretty much everybody, tell some funny stories, have some laughs, and that's exactly what this show is going to be. And so today's episode kind of came out of the blue, really, because we were trying to figure out when was a good time to record and fit it into our schedules. And, you know, I have a couple of different ideas for episodes that I want to do. So, you know, some reserved, some put in the back burner there. And today, man, the first thing I want to talk about is how much it sucks getting older.
Right? Isn't it crazy that, like, honestly, man, and some people who are not quite to this point yet, I feel like when you hit 30, everything is like, oh man, I'm in peak physical condition, like all my shit works good, I'm fucking good, I look good, like goddamn, everything's good, you know? But then I think when you hit 32, it's like, oh, here we go. Is that a fucking lump on my ball? What is that? What's all this weird things going on? Why do I feel different? Why does it sometimes take me longer to take a shit now? I don't understand what's going on. Like, what's happened?
Or one of my personal enemies, gravity.
Ugh.
Tell you what, there was that one day getting out of the shower, I looked down and they are hanging a little bit lower than they used to. And I'm just like, when that start happening? And not only that, they hang low enough to make the other guy look like he's less impressive. You know what I mean?
Jumbo balls. Oh no.
And it's like, dude, they can't be in like I remember when I was young and virile and full of testosterone and like, man, look at this. It's like, man, like when did I start like looking like my dad? It's like, this sucks.
Yeah, man, and I think it's funny. My dad always told me, and still to this day, I'll never forget the first time I heard it either. I was like probably 3.5 or 4 years old. We were in our first house, and I was outside, and there was this blue ball, and I fucking jumped on the blue ball, bounced into the air, and went knees first into concrete. Okay? My dad looks at me, and he sees that I'm hurt. I mean, obviously, I just smashed my fucking knees. And he goes, hey, the body never forgets. And someday when you're older, your knees are not going to forgive you for doing that. And Brando, at 32 years of age, my knees officially don't forgive me for doing that. I can feel where it happened. I can feel where it happened, bro. There's a divot in my fucking bone. And maybe that divot's from 40 other million times that I've ran into shit unexpectedly. I mean, they do call me Calamity Nate from time to time. But, no, like yesterday, example, I had to use a power washer for like, probably like 7 hours or something. And I remember I'm like in torture. I'm in the middle of doing this and my arm just felt like jelly. Like I looked over and I was like, I think my arm doesn't exist anymore. I can't even feel this fucking thing. Am I broken? Like, what the fuck? And then, of course, because injury, as soon as you get any kind of injury or hurt yourself or have something go wrong, two things happen. One, you're going to sleep like shit because you're going to lay on it funny. You're going to hit it when you're asleep and wake yourself up or whatever. But two, you're going to hit it on every fucking thing. It's like, here, target. You want something to go wrong? Right fucking here, man. Like, you nail your shin, and then all of a sudden Wyatt's like, oh, Dad's knee is or shin is a fucking punching bag. Wow, and he fucking nails your shin, and you're like, God, motherfucker.
Oh, yeah, dude. Yeah, no, I'm also really accident prone. I'm surprised I haven't earned the Calamity name throughout my years of existing. Toes, knees, it's almost like the reverse of that song, head, shoulders, knees, and toes. Pretty much all of them get hit at some point or another. And,
oh, no.
Buddy. All right, so just today, right, I'm at work, and I'm on a job I haven't done in a little while. Like or a job I don't do often, should I say? And it's honestly one of the easier jobs that we have, and it just so happened that one spot. If anybody knows, I pretty much like apply sealer to a car, or the sealer is applied. I have to usually scrape it or make sure the seams are filled, and it was off, and I'm like, man, this is terrible, and I have to kind of bend over. Yes. Okay. I have to bend over and look up a little bit further than what I normally have to do because this line is off pretty bad. Well, about 10, 20 minutes into like the work day, it's not even 6:30 in the morning. Something happened in my back, bro. Lower back, very lower back. It's pretty much like shooting into my left, further side, and I just start going and I get a look from Dick, from Podcastrophe. He was there and he looked at me and I'm just like, he's like, yeah. I went, that fucking hurt, dude. He goes, what? I'm like, I don't know, but my back told me this is not good.
Danger, Will Robinson, danger.
Oh, man. Those first few cars after that were, like, nightmarish. For the rest of the day, it never quite reached that peak of pain. Like, I would say that is, like, 10 or maybe even Nigel's 11, from Spinal Tap.
Oh, damn. It goes all the way up to 11 on this one.
Oh, dude. It hit hard.
Like maximum
Throughout the day,
discomfort.
Yes. Oh, man. Pain. Excruciating. But then it died down, and I would say it never really got up over an 8, but it would come in increments. If I move, sometimes I move just fine. I move a certain way, it doesn't hurt. I do one thing. There it is again. And I've been very stiff all day. I came home and I instantly put ice pack on. If you hear me using a vape, I do apologize if people have really bad, they're not into ASMR or anything like that, and they're like, I cannot deal with the whole sound. I'm doing that because this is CBD, and that ties into our other topic later on today.
Sure, yeah.
But I'm definitely vaping some CBD. It is helping relax along with the ice that I did earlier. It is lesser. I'm still stiff. It still hurts, but I remember this was never a thing. Like, man, the only thing. Okay, so 10 years ago was the first time I ever experienced the good old your body's telling you you just stop doing what you're doing type thing.
You done fucked up.
And that was sciatica.
Oh, man, that's not a fucking joke. Sciatica will put you down.
Yeah, I got introduced to it in about 2009. And that, this pain took my breath away and stopped me. This was, the only other pain that's ever done that, because sciatic has stopped me dead in my tracks. It is that severe, and that's what I think this is. This isn't sciatic. This is a pinched nerve. But that's what sciatica is. It is pinching your biggest nerve that runs down your leg. I mean, Nate, this has hurt to the point where I can feel my inflamed nerve in my hip.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
I can feel that son of a bitch. And then it's shooting down my leg. Some people get it all the way into their foot. Mine stops usually at my calf, but the pain in my calf is like I have a constant Charlie horse without the Charlie horse.
Oh, no. Oh, my God, that's the worst. I will say I dealt with sciatica a little bit, and I remember talking to you about this even, I believe, because this was right when we were starting the podcast together, or we were in that time frame. But I was working at the photography place, and I still put my wallet in my back pocket. And one day I sat all day putting in information in a computer, sitting on a fucking wooden bar stool, bro. Uneven as shit. So I go home, and I thought I was fucking dying, man. I had never felt anything like that. And then Sarah's like, it's probably sciatica, and it's probably because of this. And I was like, oh my God, it's because my wallet. I started thinking about it, and I was like, I was just hearing somebody the other day tell me how they had the same problem. So this is obviously true, and now I've learned to think. So ever since then, my wallet does not go in my back pocket. It hasn't since, always in my front, which now don't fucking rob me, you motherfuckers, because I don't really have much for you to take, if you want me to be honest, but, you enjoy the butterflies memoirs to my people that I love.
They could take your dignity. They could take your dignity at that point if they grab too far in. For me, they're laying, they'd be grabbing my low-hanging fruit. But, I mean, no, I've always put my wallet in my front pocket. I've never liked the way that felt, even, before I ever had sciatica. I've just, my dad always put it back there, so that's, emulating. I'm like, oh, this goes in the back pocket. And I'd be sitting in the car going, this is weird. I don't like this. So always in my right front. So if anybody tries to rob me, that's where it is. I'm just telling you where I don't have much either. And then hey, take it, man. I'm probably going to cancel the cards before you can really use them. So
before you can get a full dent in them, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, okay, so I had a couple bouts of sciatica. The first one was in 2009. I was still on day shift as a temporary, and I remember like leaving, and all these old people are like rushing out at 4:30, and I am just like hobbling, unable to walk, having gritted my teeth through another day. And then the next one, for me, sciatica kind of comes and goes, and it has to do with that disc pinching and getting inflamed and like pinching that nerve. And I think it was like 2013. It was that shutdown, and I remember I had bought The Last of Us for PS3. It had just come out like a week or two prior, and I was in the middle of playing another game, and I was almost done with it. Shutdown was looming. I had 2 weeks off completely, and what I was going to do was, beat that game, which I did that first night, and then the next day start that fresh, start that Last of Us going, and I'm gonna play it. I'm gonna just enjoy my time, right? So I actually moved my recliner closer to my TV to get more immersed. And, the wife was going to be on the computer doing her thing. And I sat there from Saturday and played all day. And then probably went out, got something to eat, came back, played a little bit more. Got up Sunday, played all day. With some breaks. I take breaks during my gaming sessions. But then Monday, I think it was Monday, because I played less on Sunday than I did on Saturday for whatever reason. But on Monday, like early afternoon, I beat the game. And then literally from sitting there for over the weekend in that chair, fucked my world entirely up.
Oh, no.
And I then spent 3 months in excruciating pain. I remember we were supposed to go to some family function, and I don't remember what it was. It was over shutdown, and we left town, and I'm sitting in the car seat, the passenger seat, and I'm just sitting there like breathing heavy, constantly doing a Finally, she turns the car around and takes me home.
Oh, shit.
We barely made it out of town. And I felt like complete shit because, I don't want to be that guy. Like, do I like going to all family functions? No. But do I want to be like, well, why is Brandon not here? Oh, he's in some pain. Oh, okay. Well, he could have come. I'm like, fuck you. Come on now. I'm dying.
Not like that, bro.
So I stayed home and tried to relax the best I could because sitting down hurt, standing up hurt. The only thing that didn't hurt, and here's the weirdest shit, working. When I'm at work with sciatica, for the most part, I'm fine. It's then when I sit down, it hurts. When I go to stand back up, it hurts. When I lay down, it hurts. The only thing that doesn't hurt is continuous moving. And that sucks when you're just like, I'm on vacation. I'm supposed to relax. Well, I've worked half a year. I want some time off.
For real.
I took some, I tried to relax. I took some meds, and that meds don't even really cut that. The most I'm trying to do is trying to get that not inflamed anymore. She comes home, and she's not feeling good. She's like, man, her back hurts. And I'm like, and all of a sudden she throws up because of how much this hurts. Now she's on the floor yelling in pain. She got a kidney stone.
Oh, shit.
So I'm like, I can't even help her up because of how bad I hurt. And she is in complete misery. And she's like, what do I do? I'm like, I don't think there's anything we can do but wait and try to be comfortable. And so she spends 2 days in agony and then goes, that might have been near the end of shutdown because I think she went to the doctor after I went back to work. So maybe that was like Saturday or Sunday on the very last weekend of shutdown, and Monday I was going back to work, and I was still miserable. But then she went to the ER, and they pretty much said, "Yep, you got a kidney stone."
Oh, fuck that, man. You know what's crazy about the kidney stone, Brando, really quickly?
Huh.
Once you get a kidney stone, you have a 25% chance to get another kidney stone. If you actually get that kidney stone that is the 25% chance, then your chance to get another one after that increases to 50. If you get it at 50%, it increases to 75%. And then, if you're in a very, very small batch of folks that get it in the 75% tier, that just provides you are going to have them continuously throughout your life, that your body is just producing too much calcium deposits.
Screw that.
Oh, I'm telling you, man. It'd be absolutely fucking awful.
Yeah, no. So she finally made it through. But, dude, getting older fucking sucks. It's the little shit. It's the fucking, like, looking at yourself in the mirror and almost getting scared by yourself because you don't know who that is anymore. Like, when did these circles start? When did I start getting these wrinkles? When did this hairline start creeping up that far? You know?
Absolutely, man. It just you just look at yourself one day in the mirror and go, wait a minute. This isn't who I was. Like, it's like it doesn't even register with you, you know, until all of a sudden it hits you and you're like, oh, I noticed that. Oh, I noticed this. Or, oh, like, I remember when I was a teenager and I couldn't grow facial hair to save my fucking ass. Not to say that I have a nice looking beard. It's still pretty scraggly looking. I look like a goddamn fucking pirate, but, you know.
Same.
You know.
You know what really sucks? Skin tags.
What's up? You cut out a little bit there.
Oh. I said, you know what really sucks? Skin
What's up?
tags.
Oh, yeah, absolutely, dude. I don't have
All right.
many, but I got one under my armpit, and that sucks.
Under your armpit? All right, so just the other day, I'm like rubbing my eye, and I'm like, dang, I got a pimple on my eye or eyelid, you know? And I did, you know, it's there, it's kind of inflamed. I tried to squeeze it, nothing. I'm like, all right, I'm gonna leave it alone. I'm like, wait, what's that next to it? It's a goddamn skin tag, bro. I got a skin tag on my eyelid.
Oh, man, that sucks so bad. Oh. Okay, what can you even do
When
about
did
those
this-
things, dude?
There is some sort of ointment you can get that dries them out. But how do I apply that to my eyelid and then have that not get into my eye and have it dry my eye out and have my eyeball fall out?
Oh, that would be awful. Sorry, for folks that are like, what the hell's happening? Why is Nate kind of like a robot? I just had to, on the podcast, here's a new one for you, order food on DoorDash.
DoorDash. What you ordering?
They're ordering, much to my chagrin, Noodles and Company. But I do enjoy a lot of the stuff I've had there. I just think the first time I had Noodles and Company really soured my, like, initial vibe on that place. But ever since, I've had some pretty good stuff, so I'm not too mad at it. I'm eating pad thai from the. It's not going to be like the authentic Thai like I really, really love. There's this place we just recently found called Spice Thai or Thai Spicy or Spicy Thai or something like that, and they are phenomenal. The best Thai food I've ever had. Anyways,
Bow tie.
what's up? Bow tie. My brain turned that backwards, and I thought you said Tybo, and I was like, what? I was like, why is he talking about Tybo? Oh, bow tie. I gotcha.
Bow tie.
Fuck.
All right, dude. So, your physical appearance starts changing, but not only that, but then you got to start then you get to the point where you're like where you get more responsibilities getting older. Way more responsibilities, like owning a house.
Yeah.
House ownership sucks.
Oh, yeah.
Sucks dick. It sucks big old donkey dick. And the thing is that, I lived in two apartments in a trailer where I didn't have to worry about my own house repair. Now I got to worry about my own house repair.
Hell yeah, and that's the hard part, man. I mean,
Dude,
I guess it's really
and,
the
like-
easy part because you know good people. Like Tyler and I would always help if you ever had anything major you had to get done.
Right, absolutely. And I mean, and it's not that. So, but check this out. You know, we're out in the yard, in the backyard, and you know, Wyatt's playing on a swing set and swinging, and I'm just kind of doing that thing where like I mows around. I finally got sand in his basketball hoops. We can throw a little basketball. We can that way we got him. He can shoot baskets and stuff. And I'm trying to tell him, you know, he's trying to shoot it from the play set. And he's sitting on on his swing set trying to shoot baskets. And I'm like, you know, maybe you should try to learn how to shoot on the ground first, on ground level. That way you get your hand-eye coordination down.
Totally.
Because I mean, he's trying to go for the straight awesome shots already. But I just kind of notice. I look up and I see my gutter on the side of the house, and it's bowing. Having pulled away from the house, and it's bowing completely. I'm like, shit! When did this happen?
And how long has it been going on?
And, well, the thing is that I had just seen it the other day, and I looked up, and I thought, you know, I had seen it, like the gutter maybe was bent. It was bent. It was bowing because it came down like some of the rest of the way, and then so I don't have a ladder. So I hit up Mike. Do you have a ladder? Yes, I'm coming in town to get it. When? Right now. Right now. So book it into town. Pick up the ladder. Rain's in the forecast. I book it back home. I'm pretty much seeing if I could put this damn thing back up by myself, and so I make it home. I climb that ladder, get up in there. I look in there, and it is full of water.
Oh, no.
And I am like, and not only is it water, it's green water. It's got algae in it.
Even worse.
So I'm like, hun, go get a cup. So I sit there and I dunk the cup in the water and dump it out. And then dunk it and pour it out. Dunk it and pour it out. Dunk it and pour it out. As I'm doing this, and I'm trying to like empty this water out the best as I can, because I'm going to try and pick this back up. And I'm like, I am not lifting this water up and having this algae green, you know, disease-ridden water all over me. Just then it starts to rain. So I try to pick it back up. I can't get it to stay up. And I realize that the reason is, now the gutter is not just falling. The boards that hold the gutter in place have fallen.
Oh, the fascia board and the soffit.
So I climb down from the ladder, go, put it back in the car, and I message Mike, tell him what's up. And he goes, we should be able to put that back up there. Okay. A few days later, he comes down with another ladder, and we're up there checking it out. That's when we realize this ain't going to happen. We're probably going to have to get some new wood. And I'm like, all right, well, we at least need to get this taken down, because I don't want this to fall and hurt one of us, or just, you know, because the gutter itself is probably savable. You know, it's aluminum. And I'm like, we would need to buy a new gutter. We just need to buy the new boards. And so we try to take this thing down. And then we realize this whole section is being held on by 2 nails.
Holy shit. Only 2 fucking nails for the whole entire side of the gutter.
1 nail and 1 board going into another board on the other side. And on the other side, the exact same story. And that was it. So what we decide to do is take our hammer and beat the crap out of that 1 board to knock it off on one side, and bring it down halfway, and then have someone hold it, and then someone go to the other, move to the middle side, move 1 ladder to the middle, have the other ladder on the other side for him to knock his side down, and then we both have to take it down at the same time. He ended up falling.
What?
With one rung left to go.
Oh, well, that's kind of shitty.
And he fell And when he fell, like, he tried to catch himself, and his foot landed in, like, a divot in my yard, a little hole.
Oh, fuck.
And he rolled the fuck out of his ankle and went straight back.
Youch.
So then I'm like, are you okay? You know, he goes, I'm fine. He landed on his vape. He landed on his phone. They were fine. They probably gave him quite a bruise. But, so, you know, we decided, you know, hey, we need to do this. We're going to have to do this. I'm going to have to buy some new boards. In the meantime, really, unless we get hurricane force winds, this is not going to be bad. Like, even if we leave it up there for a couple weeks or even a few months, if we don't get to it, it'll be all right. You know, it won't be so bad. Well, so then he tells me to keep that one ladder that I took, that I took here, so that way he wouldn't have to take them both back. And so I'm like, he goes to get his ladder, and I said, dude, I'll get it. And he goes, what? Are you sure? I'm like, dude, you busted your ass helping me out, literally. I'm going to help you out. I'm going to take your ladder back to your car. So then I go for the stairs going down my hill, which my front yard, guys, has a huge hill going straight down. He decides to walk down the hill, and his foot goes into another hole, and he about biffs it going down the hill. Saves himself. And I'm like, dude, are you okay? He goes, I'm just an idiot. I'm a fucking idiot. He goes home. He texts me when he gets home. He goes, I can't even walk. His ankle was so fucked up. Oh, god damn. Getting older sucks, guys. We're more frail than we think we are. I would say males have this issue of, I'm a guy, I'm a tough guy. I could do this. Don't kid yourselves. Please don't play that game with yourselves. We are fragile. We are frail. Our bodies deteriorate over time. Granted, dude, we're only in our early 30s. People are like, what the hell? You're still young. And yes, we are still young comparatively. But now is the time, the 20s are when we can do anything. We can win the night. And 30s is when all that stuff kind of starts catching up with you. I have been working the same job or, manufacturing work since I was 18. I've been working in manufacturing on my feet, on concrete, working, and it takes a toll on your body. They have done studies and said that a person who works 25 years in manufacturing has a similar toll on their body to a pro athlete after 8 years.
That's crazy. That's so much abuse.
Exactly. And right now, I'm at like almost 15 years. Next year, yeah. And next June 2020 will be 15 years I've been working in manufacturing.
Damn, brother.
And I feel it some days, especially today, when all I did was bend over.
All I did was bend over. That's such a good episode title.
Dude, I couldn't. Okay, so, and here's the bullshit. Okay? Like, I got mad respect for anybody who does that to get fucked. Because of how uncomfortable just that can be.
Oh,
especially when you start getting older. So, like, even if that's what I was into, right now, there's no way I could enjoy that.
Nope.
Because the sheer thought of me bending over gives me nightmares. I dropped my fucking scraper today and looked at it and went, I made the noise of pain before I even bent over to get it because I knew it was going to hurt. I knew so much. I'm like, this is not, I don't know. So I grabbed the rail and I used my momentum, swung myself down, picked it up because I knew there was going to be like a reverse pendulum to then come back up. And thankfully I grabbed it on the first try.
Oh, well, that's good. Man, I got hurt the other day. This is a funny little story for you. This is like stupidity incarnate, and it's one of those I can't believe it happened to me moments. So I was chilling in the living room, and I had a really long day. I had done a lot of shit around the house, moving stuff and whatnot. Sarah's like, hey, do you want a couple Hot Pockets? And I was like, fuck yes, I want Hot Pockets. I always love Hot Pockets. Give me some Hot Pockets. So she went and made me 2 ham and cheese Hot Pockets because that's the only Hot Pocket that matters. Let's be real. Don't kid yourself. So I go and I grab the Hot Pockets out of the microwave. They've been sitting for like 5 minutes. I let them sit because I was like, I'm not getting burned today, motherfucker. So
Hot lava.
I'm doing good, man. So far, I'm doing great. I take the first few bites. It's fine. Everything's good. But I got like just past middle on my first one, and I take a bite. Half of the bite explodes down the back of my throat and instantly is burning and choking me to death. The other half, I haven't even realized because the imminent pain has exploded onto my hand. It is burning the fuck out of my thumb. My thumb is on fire and I can't figure it out. I have no idea. I'm like, I'm like grabbing a drink. I immediately take a huge swig of water and I get the Hot Pocket down my throat. And I'm like, my hand is still burning. What the fuck? And I look down and it's not just the cheese that's exploded onto my hand here. There's a chunk of fucking ham that's just sitting perfectly on my fucking finger, burning the shit out of me, dude. It was so painful. And yes, I ate the ham off of my finger. But, man, it left like a terrible mark on me. I was like, fuck, dude. Because it was like such pain in my mouth, I didn't even register why my hand was hurting. It was just like, ow! Oh, damn.
Oh, dude. All right, so I was cooking. I was grilling, right?
Okay.
And I have one of those charcoal chimneys. And dude, those things are awesome, especially, to ready it, get it all ready, especially if you've ever had any trouble getting charcoal lit and getting staying lit. Dude, they're awesome. I've never had that issue myself. I've always had very good luck with getting charcoal to light. But these are also, it's like easy mode. The charcoal amount that fits in the bin is almost exactly the amount that you need for almost anything. And then what you can also do, if you're trying to do a longer cook, if you're going to smoke something in a charcoal grill, you can set some coals up on the bottom, off to one side, light a whole thing of those, or maybe half, put those on top, and then those coals will start the lighting and cooking process of the other coals to then get that process going. However, I got that thing going, put my coals in, and I believe this is the first time I ever did my 50-50 burgers, where I combine ground beef with half smoked. When I say half smoked, I mean I started the cooking process on the bacon. It's half smoked bacon because I put them on there and I smoke that a little bit for about 20 minutes to 30 minutes, where it's almost starting to cook, And then I put that in a food processor, blend it up, mix it with the ground beef, make patties, put them back on there, let them smoke for about a half hour. They are fucking delicious.
That sounds fucking delicious.
Buddy.
Yo, buddy.
I did not, and I repeat, did not place that chimney far away back enough. I'm wearing shorts, and the back of my calf touched this insanely hot charcoal chimney.
Oh, you singed your shit, dude.
For real. For fucking real. And, dude, I have never made, I was talking about this pain. I was talking about this pain that I've had that has stopped me dead in my tracks. Yes, but there is literally, I have never made a noise that was this loud ever in my life. Because this hurt so bad. So fucking bad. I have a picture that I'm going to send you of right after. Because I came inside, and it's on the back. And of course, here I am. I'm starting to lose my flexibility because I don't stretch enough. I'm already going to admit that. There's probably a lot of reason why I end up with such back pain that I do, because I don't stretch as much as I should. But then I'm trying to look at the back of my leg at this gnarly fucking burn that I know it is, because it hurt. It was one of those things where it hurt so bad and then it didn't hurt anymore because it singed the nerve endings right there.
Bro, you're so kind. I love you so much. You would get my first last name initial on you like that? or it maybe is also a D, or if it's in a mirror, possibly a 9, or also a B.
Dude, it looks like a fucking P.
It does. It looks like the letter P, dude. Oh, that's fucked up.
So if you look closely on the back of my leg, which I cannot see anymore, it's still there.
Oh man, that sucks.
I can't feel it anymore. And again, as I said, I really can't even see it. But the wife can. She said, "Oh, it's still there. It's a P." I went, "Fuck."
So does sometimes she fuck with you and she's like, "Hey, baby, I want to see that P," and you're like, "What?"
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. No, she has not. Thankfully.
Well, that's good because that'd be a little bit weird, possibly. But have I ever told you the story about how I almost blew my face off?
No.
Okay, this is a great story, and it'll segue into our next part of our segment if you want to. So, check this shit out. Me and my homie were hanging out, who's not going to be named, but I'm going to be hanging out with him tomorrow, so I'm super excited for that. It's kind of a tradition in he and I's world, allegedly, that we tend to smoke some cannabis when we hang out. It's a great pastime. So, on this particular day, we had decided we were going to grill some burgers out on the grill in my house. And I was like, oh.
I think I do remember the story, but please continue.
And I'm like, all right, man, I'm stoked. So he's like, here's the thing, man. With him, it's like a marathon. He's a bigger dude. He's like 400 pounds. And I'm sorry, but there's no man or woman or child that will ever outsmoke me. Like, I train for this like the Olympics, So, we decide to have one more bowl before we're going to go out and do this. And we smoke, we go back, we go out to the back of the house, we pull the grill away from the garage and away from everything. And I turn the burners on, I turn the propane on, and I grab a match, and as soon as I throw it, and I was a little bit close, but I didn't really think I was that close. Let me tell you how close I was. I came back without eyebrows. That's how close I was. Because I fucking threw this thing, and it must have had a backup, like a buildup of pressure of propane. Because as soon as it was within, 3 feet, I mean, kind of far away, but kind of also close, it blew up at me. Woo! And Anthony just starts laughing uncontrollably, and I'm freaked out of my mind. I thought I died, bro. It was the craziest shit. I was certain that I had been just murdered, and it was not pretty.
Life just flashed before your eyes.
Quite literally.
Oh, but dude, that's cool. And that's Anthony Schoen?
Huh?
Is that Anthony Schoen?
Yeah, I'm hanging out with him. Yeah.
Awesome, dude. Awesome. That's awesome.
Yeah, he's my homie.
Oh man.
Uh-oh.
So
did I lose you?
That I like to.
Oh, shit.
No, you did not. I kind of spaced off just for a second. Because I'm trying to think of what exactly. So when I'm in such pain, something that I've started to experiment with is CBD. And if you've never tried CBD is actually getting available in probably a lot of states.
All 50.
And is it all 50 now?
Well, it may be 49 because I think Alabama's or Georgia, one of those fucking places. It's still super illegal, even though it's legal in all 50 states.
All right, so legal CBD states. I'm actually going to look that up specifically.
Look at this shit. He is on it.
17 states.
Wow, that don't allow CBD?
Okay, so so this is kind of confusing. For the question, is CBD oil legal in all 50 states? Concluding thoughts is CBD legal? Yes, it is legal to purchase and consume hemp-derived CBD in all 50 states. But we have 17 states with specific laws regarding CBD. So yes, it is legal in all 50 states. But Alabama, Georgia, Indiana, Iowa, Kansas, Kentucky, Mississippi, North Carolina, Oklahoma, South Carolina, South Dakota, Tennessee, Texas, Utah, Virginia, Wisconsin, Wyoming, all have laws specifically pertaining to CBD. So check out your laws in your area, a.k.a. the usual suspects, when it comes to the talk of any sort of legalization that are like very adamant against.
Every place you named, I could just see the color red every single time. It was very strange. I don't understand.
Wow. I don't know, man. Maybe you're just a bull. I don't know.
Ooh,
but
like that.
But I mean, CBD oil is derived, obviously from hemp, and of course, the marijuana plant, which just, allegedly it's legal in like 11 states. Did you know that?
Yeah, I know most of the states. You've got it's. Let me see if you pull up a list. Let's see how good I can do. So you've got
all right. Go ahead.
Washington State, Oregon, California.
Yep.
You have Nevada.
Yep.
You have, if you're counting up to 2020, Illinois.
Yep.
You also have D.C.
Sure.
Are you talking fully recreational or just like upper tier laws?
Legalized for recreational use.
Not sure, actually. I'm not
All
sure
right.
what he was talking about there, but
did I cut out again?
We'll find out in just a second, I think. But because I think you've got. Let's see. I don't know, man.
Am I back?
Lost the call.
Really?
Are you back?
I think so. I hope so.
Okay, that was very bizarre. We had a
I
weird...
heard you, but you could not hear me.
No, not at all. That was very, very bizarre. I don't understand what happened right there, but
no, a little hiccup, minor hiccup. But you said DC.
Okay, yeah, DC.
And yes, I'm talking about full recreational use, and so adding to that would be Maine, Vermont, Massachusetts, and
Michigan.
Michigan,
Michigan,
and Colorado, and Colorado. Alaska.
Oh, that's sweet.
The reddest state on this map to have recreational use is Alaska. And then if you want to add in the medical, which would be
Ohio.
Ohio, but Ohio, almost all of the upper Eastern Peninsula, basically West Virginia is your furthest south of that peninsula, or up there, because you have your Pennsylvanias and then your New Yorks and all those, New Jerseys and all that. But then you have Florida, Louisiana, Mississippi, Missouri, Oklahoma, Minnesota, North Dakota, Montana, Utah, New Mexico, Arizona, and Hawaii. And then the rest of the ones that have no broad laws for legalization, on this map they're gray, but I think they're pretty red, to be honest with you. Which is where we're at in this day and age. Illinois just is the most recent to go fully recreational, and that takes place in January, or it goes in effect in January of 2020.
But think about how cool that is, man. They're not only listen. It's one thing for them to say, "Hey, we are gonna legalize cannabis recreationally for people who want to enjoy it as an adult," But the other thing that's really cool is they're expunging 7,700 criminal records from people who have had minor cannabis offenses in their lifetime, who maybe have been in jail for 10 years for something, that, now it's legal in this state. And that's a huge step forward in legislature. You also look at other legislature that they're recently working on, but I feel like Ocasio-Cortez and somebody else, or I might be wrong on that one, cross-check my facts there, but somebody in Congress just recently put out a bill to make it federally rescheduled, and to officially get it to go through both the House and the Senate, because as they said, how crazy is it that we live in a world where in New York you could get arrested for something that in California could make you a billionaire?
Exactly. Now, just recently, the biggest front runner for the Democratic presidential nomination, Joe Biden, as of right now, as of this recording, as currently he first, or maybe not officially from what the polls are showing, but from this podcaster's personal opinion, has not been performing well as some of his other constituents.
I'm looking at that Buttigieg guy; he's the man.
But like when you look at that first debate, man, there were some people who definitely shined, and he did not. So he is like kind of rebooting his campaign a little bit to try and kind of put some new face on some of his ideas. And one of those ideas is marijuana. And here's the thing: his goal is not to recreationalize it at all or legalize it in that manner. It is to just declassify it to a Schedule II, which would like leave it open for more testing and more experimenting, and we could find a lot of new uses for this. But it still doesn't, like when you have 11 states out of the 50 with more to come that are recreationally legalizing it. Some states have skipped over the medical and went, screw it, all in, bro. And a lot of these,
I think Washington is one of those.
Yeah, a lot of these are voter backed. And like Colorado, voter backed. That was not a bill. That was a proposition that they said they wanted this. The governor is against it. He doesn't want it. But he did it because the voters wanted it. And he's not going to be the guy that says, screw you guys.
I'm not going to listen to your voice.
Right. Well, even if he disagrees with it. And he has reasons why he disagrees with it. And, I mean, they're not necessarily, in my opinion, valuable at all. Because when you have that many people within a state that say, we want this, you better be listening. And at least he did. Absolutely.
It would be like him saying, oh, you like what I stand for? Well, fuck you then. Like it's awful, but we're kind of going round, we're kind of talking about a lot of things that are on the topic of cannabis, which I really appreciate because it is something that's important. It's something that saved my life, dude. I mean, I think you were a part of this story. Maybe you weren't. Maybe this is Tony. I think it was Tony. Actually, I know it was Tony. So this is like the worst migraine I ever had was when like ever. And it got so much worse. Maybe you were there. I can't remember. You tell me. But anyways, I went and saw Phantom of the Opera at the Lorraine Theater. There. You were there, yeah.
We went on a double date, dude.
Yes. Oh my God, I'm so glad you remember because my brain was scrambled as you can recall. So we went to Phantom of the Opera, and in the Lorraine, which at the time was like the 7th loudest sound system in the world, this predated the IMAX upgraded insane sound quality that you have now. And when you sat in there, it shook you. And I just remember like 10 minutes into that movie, I thought I was going to die.
Well, do you remember how that movie starts with that huge sort of organ?
Oh, yes, absolutely. It's super piercing.
Oh, man. I felt like that dude on the CDRs where the dude's like sitting in his chair.
The Maxell dude.
And like, yeah. And his hair's like, woof. That's how I felt.
Yes, absolutely.
But yes, I do remember that. The worst migraine. Dude, you were miserable.
Absolutely. So you've seen me. You have seen me pre-cannabis, what they do to me. And how they take me out and they affect me. And I was dying. I think I cried in front of you guys a lot because I was in so much pain. Like, fucking wrecked me, dude. And now, here I am, 32. Like, that's half my life ago, essentially. And if I start to feel a migraine coming on, I can sit back, I can have a little bit of weed, and I know that I'm going to be okay. And I'm going to be able to ride the storm out, and if it gets really bad, I'm either going to smoke until I sleep, or I'm going to smoke until I don't feel it anymore. One of those things is going to happen. And now, to go back to the beginning of this conversation, like, and now there's there's CBD in this world. Like, CBD cream is ultra helpful in my migraines. I've noticed that when I get them in the base of my neck or in my temples, if I rub some CBD cream directly on there, if it's a water-based or a water-soluble based cream, it immediately relieves and alleviates the pain. It's amazing.
That's awesome. It's very interesting because I have a very interesting relationship with marijuana in general because almost the opposite was the same for me and still can be. The smell bugs me and actually has led me to have some of the worst migraines in my life. And I don't know why. I don't know who, when, where, what. But all I know is that I used to run for the fucking hills when I smelled it. It didn't used to be that way. It didn't used to. And then, allegedly, I was in a car once.
I was hoping you were going to tell. I was hoping you were going to tell this story. We were in high school when this story happened. Am I correct?
Yes.
Okay, please continue.
Yes.
I know exactly what you're about to say.
And it was junior year, and it was test day, like the big test day. And I used to ride to school with one of my best friends at the time, a really cool guy. And he partook from time to time, allegedly. And
allegedly.
And I had smelled it before, and it didn't bother me. But locked in this car, it gave me a migraine. And ever since then, if it's really pungent, man, I've had, times where someone has kissed me right after maybe they allegedly had smoked. And allegedly I got an even bigger migraine.
Oh my gosh, that's
allegedly.
awful.
And literally ruined like my entire weekend.
Damn, brother. How far back were we talking on that situation?
We watched Suicide Squad that weekend. That's the first time I saw it, or the only time I ever saw it.
Okay.
Was laying on the couch in misery. That's why people were like, that movie sucked. I'm like, not as bad as that migraine. So it wasn't
It wasn't that bad. It was okay.
But no, man, when I tried for the first time, why did I try it after knowing that what it could do? Like, what if, and that was part of my thought process. Like, what if this makes it even worse? I'm like, yeah, but it's got that properties that, that should help take care of that. I'm like, okay, so then it just balances. Oh, whatever. But, here I am, we talked about getting old. That was the first half of this podcast, getting old. And part of my getting old is I already have a degenerative, ocular disease. In layman's terms, I have glaucoma.
Sucks fucking dick, brother.
And it's not just, I'm really young and here's it is early. No, I got it and it progressed fast, and I didn't know. And I've already lost a decent little chunk of my peripheral, my left eye, and you can see on the vision chart, it scares the shit out of me every time I see it, because it's like, I can see, with both eyes, I can see just fine. When you close my left eye, I can kind of see the spot where I don't see, because it's like, how often do you close one eye and then hold your hand up and go, where can I see my hand? Let me do my own vision check on me. Nobody fucking does that. And when I see that chart, I'm like, I'm fucking going blind. This is terrible. I'm losing this battle. I'm going to end up being a blind dude. And the funniest thing I've ever seen in my life, and, no disrespect to anybody who is blind, but we were at the theater, right? Okay, they do have here, the advanced hearing, the subtitled hearing, where like it describes actions. they have that for people who are blind, so they can also enjoy the movies. It's awesome. But I saw somebody walking with sunglasses on, the old Stevie Wonder, and they've got they're bouncing their stick for the clicks, and they're walking with their cell phone in their hand, tapping it. Because you can use smartphones now if you're blind. I didn't know if you knew that. They have ways for you to be able to do it.
That's incredible.
And that is amazing. But the funny thing was, that is literally the equivalent of somebody walking, looking, staring right at their phone.
It kind of is, yeah.
Because she was walking with her stick, clicking it, and she's over here tapping her phone, doing something. I'm like,
do you think that
you know what? That is.
I mean, I don't even. That's blowing my mind to think about, actually. Like, how does that even work? Because what's she looking at, dude? Like, she can't be actually looking.
No, but she's feeling. And I'm just saying, like, she's feeling, she's hearing, she's using. Technically, she's using two different senses. One, she's using her touch to interact with her phone, and her hearing to walk. So I'm just like, first of all, her brain is now way bigger and more expansive than mine will ever be. And number two, she's not using the same sense that she would need to walk in a straight line, not impaired. So it's like, but at the same time, you're still. I can imagine somebody seeing that, like, don't walk with your phone. Oh, crap. Wait, hold, what, huh? And then all of a sudden, this whole cavalcade of confusion hits you. It was all I could do not to bust into laughter because the irony hit me immediately.
You're the asshole then. If you're laughing at the blind chick that to get off her phone, like, or being, that's awful.
Hold on.
Go
ahead.
ahead.
So where I was going, we tangented just a second to tell that funny story because I thought of it. The whole reason is I have glaucoma. I'm going blind. I'm in my early 30s, and I've never used any sort of drug that wasn't prescribed to me or over the counter. I've never done marijuana, probably, and I was deterred for a long time by my experience. It was awful. I remember, allegedly visiting some of my friends and just like walking into the other room and in a way almost getting like upset, not necessarily with them, but upset that here I am hanging out with my friends and I can't be in the same room with them because I don't want to be miserable. And it's like, and it would just be a mood killer for me. I would instantly just being kind of like in a downer mood or just in a bad mood. But anyway, here I am thinking, it was like just a few years ago, and I'm like, you know what? I've never lived. I'm living my life, and I'm living my life to these constraints that I'm forced to live in, and those constraints are there for a reason, and I understand that. But at the same time, it's like, motherfucker, like, this doesn't make any goddamn sense. So I agreed to try. And so I did, allegedly. And
allegedly.
Let me just say, for the listeners out there, to keep saying that, I'm saying it almost as a pun or like as a joke in joke. Because, like, there's no way that any prosecutor or anybody's going to hear me telling a story about a time that I got high once and try to arrest me and prosecute me for telling a story. Because it's not like he can grab me up and test me right now. Are you high right now? No, I'm not, dude. Despite my eyes and how bloodshot they fucking are, that's the fucking glaucoma meds, pal.
That in and of itself is hysterical, because if you and I were ever in a car together driving somewhere and got stopped, the cop would totally think you were stoned out of your fucking mind, and I would definitely be stoned out of my fucking mind. So that's always kind of been a fucking running gag between us, is just like how ridiculous the pair we are. It's funny that you mention how you would be bummed out when you would be hanging out with friends, and I was probably at one point in time friends, and a lot of times I would try to.
Just the way you said that. I was probably at one point friends.
I was just being allegedly about it, So
go on.
I know that I would try to just be like quick about it, because I can always just like have a one hitter and be like 10 seconds, pop, pop, and back. And so I would try not to be like making it a big deal or whatever. And I'm sure that maybe there were a couple times when a few people were over and it was like, hey, would you like to do this? And you were like, oh, no, it's fine. Go ahead. And we would go in the other room to respect you. But I remember it was still like to go way, way back, man. I remember a time when I was like the really shitty friend, I guess, is the way you could say that. And if this was in a movie, you would laugh your ass off. So I hope you're going to laugh to this story. But like, do you remember episode 50 of Journey into Comics?
Yes.
How well does
absolutely.
How well does that day play out for you? Do you like pretty much have it all in your head there?
Oh yeah, dude. We went to the baby shower
Yep.
and we were on a time constraint. We had a lot of people on the show.
Yep. Mike
It
and
was a
Joanna
big-
went and got Starbucks and ran us behind a little bit, which is fine. C'est la vie. But
I mean, honestly, like the whole thing was kind of like offset, and it wasn't necessarily just their fault. We kind of got back late, and then that happened, and it was just like, it is what it is. But yes,
okay, so then there was the break between, yeah, because then we went
Yeah.
back and did Metalcast. Okay,
yeah,
so the break between happens, and I grab my oneie and my whatever I had to pack it with, and I go into your bathroom and I quickly pack one up. I hit it, I completely take it all in, and then I blow it out your window, and then I close the window, and then I walk out, and I swear to God, dude, 2 seconds. And this is a totally different point in our friendship with where we were in all this. So 2 seconds after I walk out of the bathroom, Kate's like, it smells like weed. And I think Nick Torres immediately was like, no, I think it's the beer. And I was like, yeah, it's the beer, dude. It's totally the beer. No, it was me, dude. But then I remember there was another time when I was over and one of our friends allegedly was in a lot of pain, and I saw it, and it was breaking my heart because I care about all y'all people. And we were all hanging out, and I was like, listen, I'm just going to be fucking real right now, but I've got some weed back there, and it'll help you. Let's go take care of this. And we did, and then that started like a whole new chapter for people in your life that were changed by this plant as well. Mm-hmm. And, that's a whole other story and chapter if you want to get into it or whatever.
So the very first time I tried it, a half hour later, I didn't feel anything. Nothing. I'm sitting there playing L.A. Noire on the Switch, and nothing. I feel nothing. I'm like, I didn't do it right. Something. And so you pack another one, try it again. And, buddy, 10 minutes later, I was the same construct of the chair.
You'd melted into the chair.
Like that old commercials, like, this is your brain on drugs. Like, don't be like your friends. Your friend is deflated. I felt deflated. I'm like, I am sans air. It's completely sans. I am sans Gruber.
Oh, man. Oh, that's funny as shit.
Yeah, no. It's really funny because, I've tried edibles. Edibles didn't really, the one time I tried it, I guess, I haven't tried it that much. It was okay. Edibles are a little hit and miss. Just variable. It all depends on who's doing it, how much, the math, the science.
There's a
And even
secret.
then-
There's a secret to edibles too, man. Let me tell you the biggest secret that no one probably talks about. You cannot eat before you have an edible, or it will fuck you up because it won't work. The food, it'll take so long to digest that it won't break up the same. But if you have nothing in your system and you take an edible, it will bam activate. Not to say that you can't have had some food and then eat an edible and it won't do anything. It probably still will. However, if you want fast actin to Nactin, you want to go on an empty stomach is the route. And that's the opposite for if you smoke. If you smoke, you want to be filled up with food. You want to eat before you go.
So the last time that I enjoyed I remember getting home. It was like my vacation, and I was gonna be off for more than long enough for it to get out of my system before I had to not have any in me. And my whole deal was like, I need to fucking relax. Relax the fuck out. Relax my back. This goes with the getting old thing, dude. My back feels all tight and everything, man. And so I told her, like, I am gonna go sit in a fucking hot bath. And
sounds like a good plan.
And then, you're gonna roll one, and we're gonna smoke it. So the plan goes through. I'm sitting there in this hot ass fucking bath, and we're going through with it, and I'm watching Sanford and Son on my phone.
I love this.
And it's the episode where his son Lamont buys an old Revolutionary War rifle.
Awesome.
And Fred's telling this story about his great grandpa fought in the Revolutionary War, and of course it's some big tall tale made up, and he's up there with the rifle, he's getting all animated, he puts that thing on his shoulder, and he pulls the trigger, and the gun fires out their door and into the neighbor's house.
Oh shit.
And he falls down and grabs his chest with the whole heart attack thing, and I'm in the bathtub fucking dying.
That's hysterical.
I have seen this episode before, but it was so much more funny watching him grab his chest and his son going like with this big wide-eyed look. Oh man. If there's one thing that I wanted to do, it would have been Under the Influence while seeing Metallica.
It was great.
I bet it was. I was unable to do that because I was by myself.
Well, okay, let me rephrase. Jim Brewer was great, and then I was just watching Metallica.
Yeah.
Because I didn't bring in... It's funny, though. Sorry to side tangent, the Jim Brewer thing, but it's so funny to note, once Metallica started, as soon as the lights went down, you could see in the crowd people who were smoking weed, and I was like, it's you, oh, it's you, oh, it's you, oh, like across, I'm talking on the other side of the stadium, you could see, because it'd be like a quick one light, and then it'd be done, And I was like, oh, yeah, they are enjoying life to the fullest, and my dad's like, fuck, man, why didn't we bring any weed in here? Oh, he's hysterical.
Yeah, so I enjoyed it afterwards, right?
Yeah.
And I get home, I pick up Subway on the way home because that's pretty much the choice is that or McDonald's where I live.
I love that Subway, bro.
Picked up some Subway, came back home. She stayed up late enough to make sure I made it home all right, and so she's going to bed. So before I even eat, I light up, and then I'm eating my sandwich, and it kicks in mid sandwich.
Ooh,
because I know you're. I'm not sure how it affects you, or if you still get that kind of feeling.
Oh,
like when it just kind of comes.
It's almost like vertigo, honestly.
Yeah.
Without it actually being vertigo, because your brain almost focuses and you realize what's happened. You're like, oh, I'm fucking high right now. Oh, shit. Okay, we're okay. It's cool. Deep breaths. Okay, count to 10. 1, 2, 15. Great, we're there. Awesome. We're here. And then everything's fine. Yeah, but I still get the tingly-tinglies. Brando? Uh-oh. Lost Brando again for a second. Let's try to fix that. Oh. You there, my friend?
So, I'm eating this sandwich. And it kicks in. And every single time I've ever been high, I'm sitting in my chair, and I just start moving my head. I do it every time. It's like I do this thing where I do circles with my head, super slow. And then when I get so far down, I just let it go. And it's like my head does it, but the motion has to catch up with me. That's how it feels.
That's awesome.
And so I'm sitting there eating this sandwich, and I'm watching something on TV, YouTube or something, and I'm just like, all of a sudden, this sandwich got so much tastier.
Makes everything better, bro.
And I'm just like sitting there eating Subway of all things, right? It's not even like the highest class of fast food or anything. I'm just like, oh my God. It's almost orgasmic. I'm like, yes, it's sandwich. My ears are still ringing. It's awesome. And I eat that sandwich, and I'm like, putting the paper up, and I'm like, sleep is going to be so awesome now. Yeah. But dude, I should have some pudding.
Oh my God, pudding is amazing.
I have pudding in the extra big cups. So I get up and do this little like strut to the kitchen, like, yeah, and then I throw my trash in the trash. I almost do this little like my cat Goham is laying on the couch or on the chair, and I'm walking by. And do you remember from Batman '89 where that mime pats that kid on his head?
Yeah.
That's what I do to my cat.
The two-tap?
Yeah. Little two-tap. So then I'm walking to my cabinet. I open it up, and I have the chocolate pudding in there. And then I grab the two of them that are stuck together to break them apart so I could take one. And I break them apart, and I'm like, I'm having two. And then I grab a baby spoon, because that was the only spoon that was clean. And I sit down in the chair, and I take my first bite of this pudding, and I make an audible, yeah. And I ate those two puddings, and I'm sitting there now, like the fullness has hit me. Like that whole sandwich and these puddings, I'm just like, ugh.
And you're just coming off the highest in Metallica.
Right, while being high on like on actual cannabis. So I'm just like, today was a good day.
Ice Cube said today was going to be a good day. Goddamn right.
Oh, goddamn. It's so funny because, like, I haven't really done it that many times. I think a total of 4. Okay, so here's one story, and this will be my last story because this last one that I can remember, and then maybe I'll let you tell maybe one or two more.
Sure.
So, I smoked once when maybe I shouldn't have. I was super stressed out. It was like anxiety, really bad anxiety, and actually it was right around the time of the whole March debacle, which we won't go into here on the show. I know you know what that is.
Totally.
And it was like a weekend after that. It was WrestleMania weekend.
Okay.
And I was dealing with work. We're working so much, and I'm just stressed, and I have really high anxiety, and I'm not myself. And I'm telling her that I feel like so on edge. And then she goes, "You should just smoke." And I'm like, "I can't, blah blah, because of blah blah blah. I can't because of blah blah blah." She goes, "It'll be out of your system, in this many days. You'll be fine." And I'm just like, no, I can't. So then I did, and that was probably the highest I've ever been.
Awesome.
Right? I sat there, melted into my chair. I probably melted into the next layer of fabric.
Even better.
To be honest with you. Right? And I'm watching NXT TakeOver, which I don't really remember all the matches on that card. I think that was the first Gargano Ciampa. If you know what that is, anybody knows what that is. It was like after he had done after they did the heel turn, and then they started doing those matches against each other. It was the first one. So I remember like getting high as fuck and watching like You know how like you get hyper focused when you're high?
Absolutely. Caught me in a mid drink. Sorry.
Okay. No, I don't think I blinked for like the whole duration of this one match.
Holy shit.
And it was I think it was a Velveteen Dream match, and I'm just like, my God, this is amazing.
Velveteen Alistar the first time?
Yeah, I think so.
Oh.
And I just look at her, who's not paying any attention to what I'm doing or anything. And I'm looking at her with my mouth agape. And she goes, "What?" And she goes, "Are you okay?" I'm like, "This is the best thing I've ever seen. This is awesome." She goes, "Do you feel good?" I'm like, "I feel fucking awesome now." And she's laughing. She's like, "Good." And I just sat there in awe. And it was like, near finish. And I would go, she goes, "What?" I'm like, "Near finish." I'm like popping in like the most slowest of manner in every single way. I'm like, and it got over. I'm like, "That was fucking amazing." She goes, "Good." And I'm like, and then I turn the TV off, turn the PlayStation off, and I'm like, "No, you don't know." I'm like, I've been a fan a long time. I know what good matches are. And that wasn't just a good match. That was a better match.
It's amazing.
And then she goes, "Awesome." She goes, "Are you going to go to bed?" I'm like, "I have to go to bed now. Nothing in my life is going to get better than that." It's all downhill from here, pal. So then I go and like go to the bathroom or something, and like I come back out and I'm like, "Okay, it's time to play Blue's Clues. Where's my phone?" And I'm looking around. Oh, it's still on the chair where I left it. Okay. So I sat back down and I'm looking at my phone for a whole like minute and a half before I realized I was going to go to bed. I should probably do that. And I'm like, you know what match I didn't see? The Gargano Champion match. Like, I wonder who won that. So I go to my website that I check stuff for wrestling. Look at it, and I'm like, all right, okay, so that dude beat that guy. Yeah, I saw that. Wait, I thought that match was tonight. And then it hit me. Oh, shit, it's not over. I had to turn everything back on.
You got to see the finish, though.
It had been... Oh, dude, like, it had only... in my mind, it felt like it was a half hour. But it was probably only, like, a matter of, like, 5 or 10 minutes.
That's hysterical.
Because by the time I got it back on, I think the bell had just rung for it to start. But I'm sitting there, and then I just start laughing. She goes, "What?" I'm like, "I turned this off because I thought this was over. It's not over." She goes, "Well, I mean, you could just go to bed and watch it tomorrow." I'm like, "But I'm fucking high right now, and if me being high made that match good, this match is going to be even better than that one, and it's going to be a real slobber knocker."
Oh, that's funny as shit.
But yeah, no, like, because here's the thing. Weed has a very similar effect to me than alcohol. It really does. It makes me goofy. It makes me giddy, laughing. Like
Loosens your inhibitions a little bit.
Yes, only twice have I ever gotten like super paranoid, and it was a bad experience. Yeah, and I didn't like it, and I'm like, I'm getting paranoid for no reason.
Well, the thing is it's not for no reason. The science tells us that even though what you were probably smoking wasn't something purchased from like a weed store, so you didn't know what the effects would have, but there are strains that will make you paranoid, even though they have other great effects. They'll make you sleep or whatever. Some of the quote-unquote down effects are paranoia, or sometimes sleepiness is a down effect you don't want to have. But the one thing is there's an app called Leafly that if you are getting from a place that is an actual dispensary that has quality cannabis, you can look at your what you have. It's on there. It exists. This is a huge database, and you can see what the pluses and minuses of each different strain do and what their side effects are and whatnot. And it's great what it's good used for. It's really super helpful, honestly. I want to talk about, you were talking about a time when you were smoking between, like during your shutdown or whatever. So something like that similar happened to me a long, long time ago. I was working at Carter's Furniture. Okay, that's how far back this was.
Oh, yeah.
So a little before the podcasting days, as it were. A little before I am who I am now. So I was the kid who, at Carter's, they drug tested because they knew I didn't smoke or do anything. They could test me and I would be clean every time. And for insurance purposes, they need somebody like that. So they would randomly test, and I was always the random number, right? So I decide I'm going to take my week vacation. I'm taking this week vacation. Day one, I'm smoking. I don't give a fuck. So I get some, and I decide I'm going to smoke. And I take a rip off this one hitter, and I've not smoked in a long, long time. Like, I had smoked a little bit, like right out of high school, just a few party days when I was in a situation, get past a joint, whatever, smoke it or whatever. And it was no big deal, and I would have fun. But this was me trying to go to a different place because I was like, I'm going to enjoy my fucking vacation. Fuck these people, you know? So I take this humongous rip off this one hitter that's a deep pack one hitter. It like packs deep. And I hit it so hard, immediately it triggers my gag reflex. So I immediately start puking violently, okay? So I'm in the backyard like, you know, going on and on and on. And while this is happening, I'm like just trying to catch my breath. I finally stand up, and it was the best, worst feeling because the high hits me right when I stand up. So it's a mixture of, oh my God, I'm glad I'm done puking, but it's also this like, oh my God, I feel like I'm floating out of my fucking shoes right now, man. Like, oh no, something is wrong. Come back to earth. What are we doing? We've danger. You've gone too far. It was your first time, man. Slow down, you know? Man, blown out that day. It was lovely. It was very fun. Those stories are minimal in my memory because I've smoked so many times since that, like, there are other anniversaries of smoke and situations that you learn. Man, the technology for cannabis and the way you can take your THC now in this era is so vast. You don't just have to have the flowered bud that you break off, put into a bowl and smoke. You can do shatter, which is, you know, pure THC wax that you can put into a pen and smoke it out of a pen that looks like a thing that all these other people are walking around the street having vapes, you know? Or you can do something called a dab. I'm never officially told this story on any podcast, so this is a pretty good breaking story that I'll probably get yelled at by somebody for telling, but I'm going to try to be as vague book as possible when I'm telling this alleged story that might have possibly could have happened. But actually, I can tell this story 100% because guess what? It was in a fucking state that it was super legal, so fuck y'all motherfuckers, I'm telling it. We fly out to Vegas. Vegas is Sin City. What happens in Vegas stays on my podcast. That's how we're rolling with this. So we're out in Vegas. We run into these people at the pool we had never met before. The Cutnos, and they're super nice folks. They're from California. And they're like, hey. We're like, what's up? And the reason we met was because our buddy Joe was like on their back. Like literally he was like climbing on them because he was all tweaked out and being stupid because he was in Vegas. And he was in party mode, you know? So we knew him and he knew them, but we didn't know each other, and he was with them and ran them into us, which was awesome fate because these are people that I'm still very close friends with to this day. So it's like this fated meeting, a holy appointment or whatever. And so they're like, hey, we drove out from California, so we actually have all of our cannabis stuff with us. you guys want to go up to our hotel room and smoke? And we were like, duh. Yes, of course. So we go up, and they show us. This is like this is a dually story because it leads into this next part of the story. So it's going to be a little long, but it's okay. It's got good payoff. So we go up to their room, and we're all chilling, and while they're breaking out the dab rig, because you have to do a dab is totally a different beast. It's done with the THC hardened oil that's, wax or whatever. You put it into a area that you heat with a really hot torch, literally, and then you breathe it in through a water bong type setup called the rig, and you get high. It's just like smoking out of a bong, but it just has a little bit of a different process. So while they're setting that up, because you have to heat the nail head, cut off the piece that you're going to do, all this stuff, they start passing around a donut bowl. It looked like a donut. It was shaped like a donut. It had sprinkles like a donut, and it was also a bowl with it has sprinkles. That's a little Easter egg for you, So we're doing that, and then Jason's like, okay, you're up. I'm going to show you how to do it. You're going to fucking take this little rod that has your wax. You're going to put it on the nail head. When you're doing that, you're going to kind of stir it around slowly. Just make sure you're touching the outer rim, because that's how you're going to heat this wax to the point that it's going to vaporize into what you're going to smoke. And then that's it. You just smoke through. So, okay, cool. So I do it. And it's like, boom! It hits me like a ton of fucking bricks, bro, and I have no idea what has happened. Like, I'm looking at everybody, and they're people, but I can't even register what's existing in front of me. So I'm like, this is not good. And they keep passing me this fucking donut bowl, and I'm like, oh yeah, it's awesome. They pack it again. Then they're like, do you want another dab? Sure, fuck it, let's go.
Yeah.
Why not?
Let's do it.
If we're going to live a little, let's live a little. So they hit me again, Captain, and I do it up. And then we go to dinner. We ate at the Pink Taco. So we go down the elevator, we walk over to the Pink Taco, and we go in, we sit down, we order our food. I know I ordered a burrito because it was so good. It was like the tastiest fucking burrito I've ever had. And it was crazy because they had these corn tamale things that were sweet corn tamales that were out of this world. They're really the best thing they have. Oh my God, they're insane. But for whatever reason, on this one particular time when we were at the Pink Taco, instead of ordering the delicious tamales I order this burrito. And that's where I knew everything was wrong. So we're eating there, and there's this guy that we know named Dingo, not Dongo. His name is Dingo. He's a famous snowboarder. He's like a couple booths down, and I see him eyeing me, and he sees me eyeing him, and we know each other, so we're kind of like doing the awkward, like, hello, but we're not going to get up because we're all doing our thing at dinner. And then the next thing I remember, Brando, I swear to God, I'm walking out of the Pink Taco, and I'm all happy. And it's like, cool, that was a great meal. I feel fulfilled. Everything's nice. Sarah taps me on the shoulder. She's like, hey, what the fuck are you doing? And I'm like, what? We just ate. Everything's glorious. Like, let's go. She's like, you're gonna fucking pay for the bill? And I was like, what? I didn't pay? Nope, dude. I just straight up marched down to that motherfucking place and had no idea. So I have no idea that I've done that at all. I feel super embarrassed. I have to go back in. I'm just like hanging my head in shame. I pull my car down. I give it to him. I'm like, sorry, guy. I'm fucking sorry. So then we're going to this event. And again, there's going to be another round of hanging out and stuff at this thing called the Circle Bar before this event. The Circle Bar is in the middle of the Hard Rock Hotel. So we're all there, and some of the people that are part of the Jason Ellis crew are downstairs. One of those guys, Josh Richmond, a.k.a. Raw Dog. You guys know him because he made me have a podcast, the Journey into Comics podcast, which spawned all this stuff out. So he's down there, and he's in his like late 20s. You know, I was only probably 24. He was like 29 or 30 at that time. And our buddy Jason's like, hey, Raw Dog, you want to go up in our hotel room and do some dabs? And Raw Dog's like, I've never done dabs. Oh my God, yes, that'd be awesome. So it's me, my compatriot, who prefers not to be named, the Cut Nose, Josh Richmond, his girlfriend, who is a porn star, all go up into this hotel room to do dabs. And we have all had the learn how to do it. And Jason shows Josh how to do it, okay? Gets everything set up for Josh, hands Josh this little stick that's got the wax on it. And okay, one thing, people, if you know anything about Josh Richmond, he is horrible at doing anything on the first try. Like, it's going to go really poorly. Just so you're aware of where this story is going. So he immediately takes this little stick and he immediately, like, kind of fucking half starts jerking it off into the hot nail bed and not at all doing it. He's like violently like, yeah, yeah. And we're all like, what the fuck is going on? Is he having a seizure right now? Like, holy shit, bro. It's not like that. You go slow. It's like you stir. It's like a stir. And he's like trying to draw the Star of fucking David a million times in the fucking thing. And he's just like stabbing into it, and it's awful. And so that was a funny experience because the whole time that's happening and Josh is having this crazy falling out thing, his girlfriend Carla is talking about how her uncle allegedly, which obviously this has been proven not true, her uncle was working on the Dexter movie that was coming out because of how bad the final season had allegedly done. It's a weird place to put the allegedly because the last season of Dexter sucked dick, but there's no allegedly to it, Now that I think about it, I'm just like, oh fuck, that was. There were other places the allegedly probably should have went in that, but I digress. Yeah. So then there was the last time I did dabs, and this was my decision to like, I should probably never do that again. And it was not just that it was like I probably should not have ever done that again. I just felt super out of control, unsafe. So. And it wasn't necessarily on me directly. So let me back it up. We had this dealer at the time. He lived in a spot not too far from here. Super accessible, reasonable prices. Like, you got to do what you got to do because it's not legal necessarily in the state. So I hit him up. Hey, I'm gonna swing by. He's like, all right, cool. I'm just getting off work. Come by. So I get there and dude's walking into his house. He lets me in. As he's letting me in, I notice that he's packing heat. He's got his pistol on his fucking hip. And I never noticed that he had a gun before, so I feel a little unsettled by that. I'm like, So then he takes me into the living room and he sets the gun down. And I'm like, okay, I don't like that he even touched it. But he's like, sorry, man, I just carry this when I'm at work. And I was like, okay, I appreciate that, whatever. At least he said something about it and didn't make it awkward. So he's like, do you got like a couple minutes to kill? And I really didn't, but I'm not going to say that to him because it's already kind of awkward, So I'm like, yeah, man, what's up? And he's like, man, I'm just going through some shit with my girlfriend and it just sucks, So he starts pouring out his heart to me about this girl and like this whole situation. And she is leaving him and all the stuff that's in this room is going to be gone in a week. And like, it's a sob story, bro. And he's like, as he's telling me, he kind of is realizing he's putting some heavy shit on me. He's like, do you want to smoke? I'm like, all right, sure. So he has a joint, gives me the joint. We take turns smoking it. We smoke the joint. Not a big deal. I can handle smoking a joint. I've done it a million times. Go on, live my life. Not a big deal. We're still talking about the girl relationship, all this stuff. The gun is still there, just kind of creeping me out a little bit. I'm like, oh my God, I hope he doesn't like freak out all of a sudden and get angry as he's telling me these stories and like fucking blow my head off or some shit, And now I'm high, so I'm starting to get a little paranoid about everything, So then he's like, hey man, have you ever done dabs? And I was like, yeah. And I tell him the Vegas story. I was like, yeah, I like kind of lost a whole day. Like, I remember parts of it, but I don't remember all of it. Like, holy shit, So he's like, all right, well, let's go. And he's like, I just got some fresh stuff. So he has this nice, fresh shatter. He breaks a piece off, gives it to me. It's a sizable piece. I smash this thing in one massive rip like an idiot. Because I'm just with this dude and it's a little bit awkward. I'm already there longer than I want to be and it's already like I feel like I'm lingering, but he's inviting me to be there, so it's weird. I can't text Sarah because I left my phone in the car because it's a thing I do sometimes like a dumbass. I'm realizing now I totally could have been murdered and had no way to call for help. What the fuck was I thinking? So anyways, okay, we're doing the dab. So I smoke the dab and it hits me immediately, dude. I'm like, oh my God, I'm too high, okay? As soon as I think that in my head, he's like, all right, man, well, I got to go take a shower and go do a bunch of stuff. I'll see you later. And I have to leave his house and drive home. Okay, well, here's one thing that y'all might not know about me, but I do not, under any circumstance, advocate drunk driving, ever. I will advocate that if you're a cannabis user who can do what I call high functioning things and live your life always stoned, as it were, that's my secret cap, I'm always high, you could probably drive. And a lot of times I've driven high, and it's fine. It doesn't affect my driving. It just keeps me zen, and I stay focused. It's like playing a video game, you know? Don't fuck up. The fuck up is bad, so just stay focused, you know? So anyways, I have to drive now in a situation where I'm not high. I'm like uncomfortably out of my mind gong showed. Like I can't even feel my toes. It gets worse because I always go to this dude's house at night to pick up. But for this particular day, as I said earlier, he was just getting off work, so it was earlier. It's still daytime. I leave, I get in my car. I don't know how to get home. I have no idea where the fuck to turn. Because I do this at night. I don't even think about it. It's automatic. But now I have to see all the road signs that I'm not typically seeing and like pay attention to all these cars and all these other things. Oh my God, this is going to be awful. So I'm starting the drive. I make my first turn because I kind of have like still a sense of direction. I'm like, I'll just take this one way until I hit this one street that I know should be there. If I hit that street, I'm pretty much home free. So I find the street, I turn, and I drive all the way home. And I'm like in the most uncomfortable paranoia of my life. Every vehicle, every Crown Vic, every car that remotely looks like a cop car, I am, oh my God, here it goes. I'm done. I'm arrested. I'm dead. I'm going to prison. Like, it's the worst. I don't even have any, I mean, I do have stuff on me because I just bought, but so it's like, it's really, it is that bad in my head, you know, and I'm panicking and there's no cops following me or nothing. Okay. I swear to God. So I get on the expressway, I drive, I take my exit, I get back. I'm going onto the road that's right off of the street that I live on. And as soon as I hit the final stop sign and pull out onto that street, 2 fucking Hammond cops pull in behind me. And now in my head, I am certain that they know I'm high. They know I am fucking ripped. And I'm doing everything in my power to remain calm because I know if I drive too fast, they're going to pull me over. If I drive too slow, they're going to pull me over. So now I'm in this delicate balance like, what's the speed limit? It's 25. Okay, I'm doing exactly fucking 24 3/4 miles. Let's do this. Because that's just a little bit under, but it's not enough under. So maybe my odometer's broke. I can't tell. So I drive, and I'm like, okay, here's the moment of truth. I can turn off this street that kind of wraps around to my street. It's like a off-lay street. Or I can just go up and then turn and be right by my house. So I take the off-lay street. I'm like, if the cops don't follow me, I'm good. They don't follow me. And for whatever stupid fucking reason, my paranoia gets worse. And I go, they know where you live, and they're going to meet you at the house when you get there. So I'm like shaking to drive home, dude. White knuckle tight, you know. Like, oh my God, this is going to be so bad. I pull in and no one's there. And I just remember coming in, and I'm like, Sarah, that was the dumbest thing I've ever done in my life, and I'm so sorry I had to do that, but here's what happened. And I told her, and then, like, by that point, I had started to come down a little bit from it. Oh, and it was just like, oh, I'm so glad I made it home safe. And then no more dabs for me. The end.
No more dabs. I've never tried dabs. I kind of want to try it because I want to experience, you know. I want to have some more fun. I can't always do it, though, man. I've got to be pretty strict.
See, now,
on when and where.
Damn it, Brando. As soon as you just said, now I want to try it, I'm like, I'll do it with you. Like, let's go, dude.
Now, here's the thing. As long as we are in a controlled environment, right?
Absolutely.
That's the thing.
Absolutely.
No driving anywhere. You know, wherever we're doing that at, our asses are going to be planted. We're going to be chilling out. We're going to have some good food, maybe watch something really stupid, make us laugh, whatever. No, dude, we do at some point need to do that. and really chill out and have some fun. But this episode has been really fun. I hope you guys all enjoyed it. Our musings on weed and getting older, somehow they're connected, and they are really, because I've been sitting here hitting this. I'm almost out of juice, and it is actually getting pretty close to my bedtime. But Nate, thank you so much for doing another episode of this show with me. I really hope that this is as free and open and new to you as it is to me, because it's something different for both of us, I feel.
It absolutely is, man, and it's nice to kind of peel the curtain back. I have felt, and this is, no offense to anybody, but I felt very constrained by the ability to tell stories on this shows that we have, because not everybody vibes certain subject matters, and because it's not posh in every state or whatever. And it's really nice to just say, you know what? This is me unfiltered. Like, if you don't necessarily like what you're hearing, then don't tune in. But I think, at least in my opinion, every time I've played an episode for anybody, that's in my close personal bubble in these early first couple episodes with you, Brando, they're just like, man, you guys fell right back into place. It's like nothing ever changed. And it is. It really is. But it's very freeing, though, all in the same, to have a different parameter to play in.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. And the thing is that a lot of times when you start talking to people about podcasting, about you having a podcast, it's like, what is your podcast about? Sometimes they don't understand when there isn't a central topic, because podcasting has grown to be such a topical and categorized thing, where you have a show about comics, or you have a show about wrestling, you have a show about Doctor Who, you have a show about cars, you have a show about video games. And once I tell people I have a show about video games, one of two things happens: loss of interest immediately, or they get more interested. So to have a show where it's like, we tell stories about what? About our life experiences.
Oh man, Brando. Dude, I'm sorry to say, but we can't close on that story. Do you think we should tell our epic full-scale story of that one night on Iced Earth?
Ah. So, all right. So we have actually shared this story over on Journey to Comics over a year ago. I think it was called The Coldest Night on Iced Earth. Mm-hmm. Was the name of the episode. So go check that out. I mean, it's a good episode. But we went and saw Iced Earth. I saw the lead singer of Iced Earth. He posted something on Instagram, and somebody commented and said, yo, dude, when you're in Cali, we should totally meet up and blaze. And he is like, message me. And I'm like, bro, this dude vibes. And you're like, fuck yeah. So then you messaged him and kind of got the link up when we were going to hook up with him originally before the show. But it didn't really work out to do that because of the VIP thing, and he wanted because we did that experience, and then we were kind of confined to the building. We could kind of move to and fro. We probably could have done it, but we didn't want to miss the chance to get in early, or to be the first ones in. So we just met up with him afterwards, and it was one of the coolest things, because it's one thing to get to meet somebody that you look up to. In this case, like in the musical world, but it's another thing to meet them as a person and to vibe on them as a person. A lot of times when you meet musicians or even anybody in that kind of setting, they're pretty professional. They talk to you. They'll pretty much answer anything that you want to. And we actually got that experience with the Q&A thing, and that was really cool. The guys were really open and accessible to anything that anybody had to say. And I think that was one of the coolest things about that, because I've never experienced that in a VIP setting.
Yeah, more openness like that.
Yeah, and I've done the VIP with that band before, and it hasn't necessarily been like that. You are ushered in a line. You have stuff to sign. You can bring stuff for them to sign, and I should have done that, but I didn't, and I haven't done so because I'm always nervous about carrying all the stuff that I want them to sign, and. So then they move you out of that line and move you into another line to get a picture taken. And this time they did a little 20-minute Q&A, anything you want. And our show that we went to was, probably, it was the first show, but it was also an indie, and it was probably one of the more smaller shows among the tour. And there's only 10 of us. that actually did the VIPs for that venue, and it was so intimate. It was so cool. But to sit there and get to talk to this dude, Stu Block, he is such an advocate and into the cannabis world. He is going to start posting more about it. Go follow him on Instagram and on Facebook. He is so into it. And essentially, we're like, hey, man, maybe we could vibe. And he's like, vibe? Yeah. All right, cool. And, we kind of gave him the hookup a little bit. And, unfortunately, actually that first time it was just, us talking, and we took a picture. There was the Uber guy that came up, so my phone died. I can't use my phone.
I think the universe. Let me side tangent you into the Sun story, because I think the universe put the little Uber guy there as a way to give you something really special from that night, because not only did you get to meet Stu Block and hang out with him, man, like I said, I said this on that podcast, I can remember the first time you talked about Stu Block Into Eternity and digging his crazy range of vocals and his ability to sing really, really highs and then growl really deep or scream or whatever he wants to do. And then so it was like this dude takes me away because I'm trying to get him an Uber, and you got to have this really intimate. I have no idea what you guys talked about there, but you two were sitting there for very, very, very long time, probably 15 minutes chatting, and it must have been a very special moment for you. Please continue.
Oh no, it was, dude. I got to thank him, I got to tell him how much I was so excited when I got announced that he was, the lead singer for this band when they had to replace the lead singer. I got to tell him how I felt. I got to tell him how much the band meant to me and how much he has brought to it. And be able to get to tell him that, not in a message or at that really quick VIP meet and greet, but to tell him face to face, man to man, dude. The last 3 albums you have done with this band have been awesome. What you bring to the table has changed the vibe and energy of this band for the better, and I cannot wait for what comes next. But that night, he was so friendly. I mean, number one, he's Canadian, so of course he's friendly.
Absolutely.
But, that was a night that for you and me to share, that we got to go do that. And unfortunately, you lost your lanyard somewhere along the way.
Fucking kills me, bro. Breaks my fucking heart that I don't have that lanyard.
I've got I still have your coins and your little beer stein. By the way.
Yes. In due time.
After all this time.
I think I'll be seeing you next week, or in a few short
maybe.
days.
I do hope so. So he pretty much said, dude, you guys are awesome. Thank you so much for this gift. And if you guys want to come back out, just hit me up and I'll get you guys on my guest list. And we're like, okay.
What?
Yeah, dude. When's Chicago? What date is that? It's a Friday? Fuck. Okay, we're going. Wasn't going to that one, but I'm going now. And, that was another adventure, because then we got to go up there, walk up to the damn, where the lady was taking tickets, and we're like, we're on the guest list. What's your names? We gave them our names, and then she gave us this bracelet, and we walked in like we fucking stole the keys and walked right in.
It was amazing.
To the joint. And immediately we saw the lead guitarist for Ice Dirt just walking around, and we just saw him. He saw us. I don't know if he remembered us at all because of how many people he's seen, but we're like, dude, and he's like, hey.
Man, faded appointments, dude. It was crazy how that all worked out, And that was like after a point when you had thought about walking away from podcasting, and we had touched on that in previous episodes. So, no need to really rehash that. But we had a really nice heart-to-heart and been able to go there. We went to the Bottom Lounge in Chicago. It was the last show of that tour, though. That was the really cool thing. We got to see the first show of that tour and the last show of that tour.
The really cool thing about it, too, is that it was over a month apart. And by this point, they have trekked all across North America. They are tired. They want to go home to their families, and they are having fun. They're drinking. probably more than what they normally do during the show, and it was amped up by the time. And we got to meet up with Stu again after. We went back to the car and moved the car to the parking lot of the venue with their bus right out there. He met us out there, and I'll never forget. You gave him an Easter basket. You made him a special thing, and the look on his face was like, no way.
I made the Wheatster basket, bro.
And like he was like, so, and then he's like, oh, brownies? Oh, dude, that's gonna be amazing for the flight. You have no idea. Like he was so stoked, and he goes, do you guys want shirts? And we're like, no, dude, we already bought shirts, man. We had like since I didn't have to pay for a ticket, I actually brought extra money up for more merch because I bought merch at the first night, during that first night of the tour, and I'm like, I want that damn hoodie, and they were all sold out of hoodies, so I just got a couple of T-shirts of ones that I didn't get last time, and I think I got me a shirt, me 2 shirts, and the wife a shirt, and then I got some stickers, and then I got some stickers for a buddy over in the UK, and he was like, no, and we were like, no, dude, don't worry about this, man, don't worry about it. Like, it's on us. Don't worry about it. Like, we don't need anything. This is cool enough. Because that time, the first time, I'm not saying that I don't want to say that he was like not sure what to think or anything like that.
You gotta gauge people though,
right? The second time, dude, he opened up, and I don't know if it was just the fact that the second time that he's meeting us, he remembers us. He remembered stuff about me, so I'm not just another dude anymore. Because he offered, he had one of those pens that you said with the, with like the concentrate, and I couldn't hit it, and I really wish I would have, because I did so not just a week later, right? But actually, no, I'm very glad I did not hit that.
It's a memory, man.
There's a reason why. Well, no, there's a reason why.
Okay, go for it.
That Friday, right? That was a Friday. The following Thursday, I got tested.
No way.
Yeah.
Oh, shit, bro. That's crazy.
You have no idea how tempted I was to just reach out and take it from him. My hand might have even moved.
Fuck it, live a little, but
But I backed off thinking, no, I can't. And then he's like, oh, and he remembered. He goes, because you get tested. And I'm like, yeah. He goes, right. Oh, dude, yeah, right. And I'm like, he remembers me.
We talked about his wife and her playing piano, and then her story is similar to, I think they're both named Sarah, too. Like, isn't that crazy?
And like the grand piano, and then his whole story. Like, he opened up a little bit to us, and that was just such a cool moment. And to me, that was even cooler than the first time. Getting to meet him and like that the first time, and it's more private, cool. That second time, dude, we just vibed as people. It was just, 3 people sitting out. Hey, we had a good gig. We enjoyed the show. We're fans, and but it's like, no, dude, seriously, let's just vibe right now. And those are some not funny memories, but like there was one funny thing after it, because you did take a hit off that pen, and we took off, and we were doing pretty good. And I think we went to go hit White Castle before we hit your house. And literally, right as soon as we got on the interstate, you were like, dude, that pen's kicking in right now, and it's pretty hardcore.
Oh yeah. Yeah, 'cause I think that they had been to several places since then, and he was like, I think I got this when we were in Denver. Oh, so it's something.
It was California.
Oh, it's California. So it was something quality, and it was like, put my ass down.
Oh, dude, imagine what it would have done to me.
You wouldn't have been able to drive us home.
No, I probably would have been laying on the ground.
You probably would have been like, Nate, can you get us home? And I would have been like, yeah, it's going to be a doozy, but we'll do it.
Right. Now, see, the thing is, the last thing I'll say is that, when we said goodbye, he went back to his bus, and he walked away, like, running away in the most funny, like, walk, run, jive thing where he had the box in his hand. He looked down, and he's got giddy, and he's like, he's like, he was so happy. And I'm just glad that we can make him happy.
Man, it was awesome. It's cool. You know what? Let me say this, Brando. I want to say this to kind of close out the podcast. It's one thing to go to a meet and greet to quote unquote meet your heroes, it's another thing entirely to befriend those heroes. And
Yes, absolutely.
when you're afforded that opportunity, you know what, man? It's insane. And you know what's crazy? I can't really elaborate on this more. You'll know what I'm talking about. But, like, I'm going to be fortunate enough to have experienced that kind of thing not once but twice in my life.
Right. Yes.
Like, and whoa.
I know, dude, and that's so exciting. That is so awesome. You know, the next time that they come around, that Stu comes around, you and me are definitely going.
Fuck yeah, no questions.
We're gonna hit him up again. I don't care where it is, when it is. I'm going. You're going, and it's gonna be. You know, I definitely want to build onto that which we have started, what has been built there, because as you said, I don't want it to just be like getting a chance to meet this dude that's awesome, and I love his music, and I love his personality. Like, I want to grow a friendship for sure.
Absolutely, and one final thing to mention is, like, when they do come around, it'll be around 2020, I would guess, and Illinois is going to be recreationally legal, and I'm still an Illinois resident, so maybe we can put together a better Weedster basket.
Yeah, hell yeah, hell yeah. Well, guys, thank you so much for checking out episode 3 of the OGs.
Whoop, whoop.
This has been an epic fucking 2-hour podcast with us telling some cool stories, and that's exactly what this podcast is. The old dudes from the old JIC coming back once again, but not to talk about the new news or anything that's going on. We're talking about whatever the fuck we want to talk about and telling some awesome stories along the way. You can definitely subscribe to the network if you haven't done so. If this is your first time hearing it, if you found this episode, you're like, man, I clicked on this tag and it got me here. Subscribe to the feed, dude. It's everywhere that podcasts are. Search Journey into Comics Network. There's a plethora of eclectic podcasts here for you to enjoy. It runs the entire gamut. And then, of course, you can also check out my gaming podcast over at Game Addicts Podcast. You can search those exact same podcast feeds and search the socials and all that kind of stuff. Game Addicts Play, we're there. You can get all that stuff done. And I don't know if there's anything else to say, dude.
No, I think you nailed it, my brother. I just want to say thank you so much for joining me on our epic adventure, not through just this podcast, but also through life, Brando. We have many more stories to tell, and I can't wait to see what is around the corner next. But I do think that's going to do it for this week's episode of The OGs. This has been episode 3. I'm one half of The OGs, Nate.
I'm the other half, Brando.
And, we'll see you guys around and whatnot. Later.